Imagine you're putting together a high-stakes presentation on corporate agility. You've polished the slide deck, and you ask your brand new CIO for feedback. Instead of just a quick thumbs up, he flags the cover slide. It's an image of a female athlete navigating an agility ladder, but wearing a sports bra. He warns you that using a picture like that could easily land you in hot water. For the presenter, this was a total blind spot. As an athlete themselves, they hadn't even consciously registered the attire. All they saw was another person working out. We often ask for feedback hoping to validate our original intentions. Instead, what we usually get is a spotlight pointed directly at the blind spots we didn't know we had. The presenter's immediate biological reflex was to dismiss the CIO. The internal monologue is predictable. He's just old-fashioned. I'm keeping the slide exactly as it is. That defensive urge comes from a fixed mindset. As seen in this illustration, the fixed mindset acts like a padlock on the brain, making us view our outputs as perfect. We love buzzwords like Agile, but human nature hates the friction of being corrected. Agility exists in the daily struggle to overcome the instinct to be right, a process that happens long before any corporate framework is applied. Overriding that defensive reflex requires a specific, mechanical choice, hitting your internal pause button. You stop the reaction, and you refuse to make a final decision right away. Instead of arguing, the presenter took the exact same slide image to a diverse inner circle of trusted female colleagues to gather objective data. The results were surprisingly polarized. The first person agreed with the CIO verbatim. Others loved the image of a strong woman. The data mapped out completely across the board, from a hard no to an emphatic yes. Mapping these divergent perspectives reveals how the work actually lands in the real world, turning emotional noise into actionable data. Zooming out, this is exactly why most modern teams fail at being agile. They mistake surface-level management tools for actual adaptability. To see how a system operates, we can look at this iceberg model. Highly visible practices, like Kanban boards and weekly sprints, sit safely above water. But the massive structure keeping everything afloat is submerged. That structure is built entirely on personal mindsets and open communication. The rule here is simple. You cannot build a functional agile process until you have created agile people. Think of a golfer driving home after a long tournament. This drive home serves as a mental workshop for maintaining a foundational mindset. They mechanically replay the entire round in their head. They isolate every single swing and every single decision made on the course that day to evaluate their execution. The requirement for this exercise is to cleanly separate pure luck from intentional execution, and you have to do it without letting your ego dictate the analysis. Regular, ego-free self-reflection is a far kinder teacher than the regret after a failed project. Returning to the slide deck dilemma, the presenter made their choice. Even with enough yes votes to comfortably justify keeping the image, they threw it out and found a new one. The logic was simple. The primary goal of any presentation is connection. If you utilize imagery that alienates or distracts even a fraction of your audience, you miss the mark completely. The ultimate objective of personal agility is leveraging your strengths and your friction strictly to generate forward momentum. Stubbornly holding on to a bad first draft halts your progress. Adapting to new data guarantees you keep moving. You will never be able to control the circumstances of the feedback you receive. But as this compass illustrates, you have absolute control over your accountability to it. So the next time unexpected friction occurs at work, consciously engage your internal pause button instead of rushing to dismiss the critique. Treat the uncomfortable comments not as a personal attack, but as highly valuable raw data. Engaging with uncomfortable feedback provides the information needed to adapt your perspective for the next project.